fame. I'm gonna live forever. Hey, y'all, come on in. The sun is shining here in San Francisco. It's a beautiful day. What soap are we looking at today?
You and I will die.
It's a beautiful morning with the Barbershop Duet.
Hi, I'm Marcus Klinger with Klinger Vocal Studio.
And I'm Sarah Vincent with Sarah Vincent Virtual Pilates.
But on Wednesdays and Saturdays,
we are the Barbershop Duet.
Hey, y'all, come on in. Thank you for finding our little barbershop. If you happen to be here during one of our live premieres on YouTube, why, come on in the live chat. Meet the Whiff Pack. Cool group of friends hanging out from all over the world. They'd love to meet you too.
They would. And for our mention today, Marcus would like to talk about the EDP samples they have over at House of Mammoth.
Y'all, Ben Esposito is leading the charge with House of Mammoth in becoming one of the most respected perfuming houses in the indie frag world. They are winning awards right and left, and lucky for us, they have all of their EDPs in smaller sizes under $10, so you can really get your nose on them and experience them for yourselves. Next time you're ordering from House of Mammoth, you might want to throw the accompanying sample into your cart. They have shaving soap samples as well. And what is our soap today?
We have You and I Will Die, which is an award winner. Let's meet it.
All right, y'all, from the sales page at houseofmammoth.com, You and I Will Die is an exploration of the fragile impermanence of humanity, an affirmation of life in light of death.
The perfume accomplishes an extraordinary balancing act between dark and light, opening with airy vegetation and water, and gradually descending into dark earth before impossibly becoming light, fragile, and delicate. The timeline of the wear is like a pulse, a heartbeat, a vibration, alive.
Perfumed by Benjamin Esposito, You and I Will Die won People's Choice in the 2025 Art and Olfactory Awards. And y'all, we did not have the patience to wait until Halloween to do another House of Mammoth soap, so we are whipping it out now. Come along with us when we open the box. All right, y'all, we got this at Maggert's. This was actually the soap we threw in to get free shipping because we had to go to Maggert's to get Fougere Angelique from Barrister and Mann. Stay tuned, but here is our prize for today. Look
gorgeous.
At that label and look at the mammoth on the front, y'all. Well, You and I Will Die, but hopefully not today. Come along with us while we open this soap. Y'all, constant viewers will know that my dad was an embalmer and a funeral director growing up, and my high school job was trimming around headstones in the cemetery, and then after that I used to make removals and go pick up people after they had passed away, which is why I love every shaving soap. I'm not comparing them to each other. I'm comparing them to the hours I would spend in that van with the windows up because it was raining. Y'all? Now, I do know that when my dad was a teenager, he wanted to paint his room purple and sleep in a casket.
There you go.
But that macabre edge of his had left him by the time he became a father. So I grew up in a very normal house. And other than being dropped off at the Halloween dance in the hearse, we didn't have a lot of like candelabras and stuff like that around the house. But, you know, we did always treat death with sort of a healthy attitude of it's coming one day. You don't want to fixate on it, but you also want to make sure you take care of business when and if you can. So I do love that that's a bit of the philosophy behind this soap is remember, thou art mortal. All right, here we go. I'm going to take it in, have the first
curious.
impression.
Light and dark.
Beautiful pour. Look at the surface of that thing. All right, the shaking clam. Oh.
What's that?
Wow, it opens with an effervescence, a pepperiness that washes over you and just wakes you up. It makes my skin tingle, but in the best of ways, in a spicy way, not in a pokey way. And that's what draws you in like the Pied Piper. And then just under that is something sweeter, almost floral. Okay. Hold on. Almost a clover and something citrusy that speaks to a bright sunrise. And then it begins to turn dark. I'm going on a journey here, but y'all, if you love that sense of bright sun and optimism that you get from Shire, from House of Mammoth, that is in here, but it's only a few steps of your adventure. Under that is something smooth And I'm going to say it oak mossy, but in the best of ways, because if I can adore it, it means that oak moss is being used correctly. I do not like anchovies. I do not like oyster sauce, but I can't make my mom's spaghetti dish or any Chinese food worth a darn if I don't use one of those two ingredients in the final creation. I love how the oak moss is segueing in between that bright sunrise and those darker, richer spices. And you know, when you do get all the way to the bottom of this, the cool thing is it's darker, it's spicier, it's resinous, it's woody, but it's not midnight. It's shadow.
Oh.
So this is not a light and dark. This is a sunlight and shadow scent, and I love that. Like, it reminds me of some of our favorite cemetery walks, which we take at dusk to see the bats start to come out of the trees, and even the shadows from the headstones can still be seen as the sun is going down and giving us its last beams of light over Mount Tamalpais. And y'all, it might not even be oak moss. It might be other things that are coming together to give that exact smooth, herby, stretchy quality, or things that even complement a center of oak moss that might be in here in the most amazing of ways. Now, I think I remember seeing carrot seed on the sales page, but the reason that's cool is one of the essences that this brings up for me is the carrot patch behind my grandfather's ranch house, where the soil was earthy, rich, dark, and loose. You didn't have to pry those carrots up. You just had to give them a gentle nudge, and they came right out of this rich California soil that was in shadow. Like, that was part of the thing. It couldn't be in bright sunlight or the soil would get too dry. That sense is in here. And while I am fascinated with lactonics and milky scents and how they do it, I am even more fascinated with water scents. Fran at PAA said at the very beginning of our journey, Marcus, even water has a scent to me. And I love that the sales page spoke of watery notes, herby vegetation. I am definitely getting that sense of the well on the farm. And then if you could imagine that sunlit sense of a morning farm vegetable garden is then segueing into some florals. But here's the thing. They're not farm florals. They're more funeral florals. They smell like those beautiful bouquets that used to be absolutely everywhere in the 80s and 90s in the funeral home, and how they presented their fragrances. Now, I would expect a lot more of the darker, earthier herbs under this. I would expect the patchouli or the vetivers to be a lot more prominent. They're not. They're very subtle. So this doesn't go totally like olibanum, incensey dark. It just stays in shadow. The sun never totally goes down on this.
So it's not as morbid as this could have been taken. It sounds like it's completely opposite.
Yes! But it does have the somberness of a cemetery.
Okay.
I will say that. But again, one where everybody's well-dressed. The hats match the suits. You know what I mean? And while I am getting a definitive oak mossy core in this, I'm looking at the scent notes and I don't see oak moss. So I think it's being built with other things, which is maybe why my nose is loving it so much. And much like a great scent, once your nose is done exploring the shadows, it can easily rocket right back up to the top and begin the journey all over again with those beautiful watery vegetative notes on top. What a unique scent this is. I am so curious how this is going to wash over you.
My goodness.
All right, take it in. See what you get.
Not what we were expecting, it sounds like, in a fun way.
No, I thought it'd be sweeter. I thought it would be more characterized by its deep, dark woods and spices and things like that. No, it plays in the mids and the lights.
Okay. All right. It's been a while since we've had a good House of Mammoth pour here.
No.
Wow, I just got hit with hardcore deja vu. I don't know where that is coming from. Something my dad's mom had in her house. There's something in the middle. I don't know where, but maybe it'll come to me as I keep whiffing.
Right.
Please hold. Yeah, you're right. The beginning is like a crisp, airy, kind of effervescent, more peppery. I get what you were saying but the briskness is kind of really wakes you up, like you said. It's not like smelling salts or something like that, but I feel like there's like a guttural response to whatever that smell is. Like it really does like make you want to take a full, deep breath breath, pause, and just take it in the best of ways. I feel like we don't do that as a human culture much anymore, like to just step outside and literally smell the fresh air and just reset. There's something in this that makes you want to do that immediately. There's something about like the natural sweets that are happening here. Like I almost feel like I could have been outside gardening, and it's like a combo of multiple florals or different petals, or even just like the natural sweeter sides of being outdoors, like that gets into your skin, but it's how they're all blending together. Like they're real sweets. They're natural sides of like the brighter, cleaner sides of where they're coming from.
Do you get an oak moss hit, or am I totally crazy?
I do not, but I get the wake me up part of oak moss that I think, like, instead of a light green that my brain normally gets when I smell like an oak mossy kind of thing, this is like a bright white version.
Right. I'm getting a white version of it too.
So somehow a seriously close cousin to what an oak moss creates without it going green. I think it's more the pepperiness or like something in the vibrancy of that, maybe. There's something that's like a waxy floral. Could that make sense?
Yeah.
Like it's not quite floral. It doesn't quite go rose for me, but I almost feel like if it was like a melted wax from a candle or like something, like it has a different texture to it. I don't know if that could even make sense, but it's not quite sweet and it's not quite dark, but it's there and it's prominent throughout my whole whiff. So the darks for me is not as dark as I thought they'd go. I almost was picturing like a dark floral at first, but I don't think that's quite it. And I'm not getting like a soil texture, but there's something that stops right before that. Like a natural earthiness. I see why you were mentioning shadows, and I can see how that could be in here. To me, it's a little drier, and I don't know, like maybe it's the soil or like the different herbs that are being used here, but I am completely outdoors. I don't know where I am, but I am discovering a new place. Like I almost feel like if I was reading a book and it was talking about like a little cottage in the woods or something, like this would be like if you walked outside the door, this is the whiff that you'd get. Or if you were laying on a blanket like under a tree, being closer to the ground and getting like those earthy natural sweets, maybe under a tree with some fun florals. Like it's just painting a scene, like a place that I've never been. But I do feel like you are at this kind of ease with where you are in life in that painting, wherever that's taking it, like the concept of being content. So the life and death portion, the you and I will die eventually kind of thing, like you're not scared of that. Does that make sense? Like there's somehow smelling this, it's painting that picture of being content with where life has brought you or where it's going. So I don't know how you brought that through, Ben, but you really did. Not in a way that I think anyone would normally get you there, but I like how you're taking us on that journey of being content with where life has taken you.
Right. We were just watching The Bodyguard, and there's that great monologue about having no fear of death.
Yeah, oddly, that's kind of really putting it in here too. I get like a different twist on a floral. Like I feel like my brain knows it, but it can't file it. It's almost like what's used in maybe like a White Diamonds perfume or something. There's like an aged floral in this that I don't get on a normal daily basis.
Right.
But part of me in my soul knows I've smelled it before. But it's not so loud of a singer in here that I wouldn't wear this. Like, it's nothing to me that it's like, okay, because I don't know the floral, I'm not going to wear it. No, I think I want to spend more time with it to figure out what that is somehow. Like, being comfortable being uncomfortable.
Oh,
could that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, for most of us, the thought of dying is not a comfortable thing, but somehow it's kind of making you have to just pause and be okay with that. I think I'm finally getting to like the deeper sides. I don't want to say darker, but deeper, like the depth of what's polarizing the scents somehow. And there's that side of the whiff, but then there's also like where you zip things together and they just blend perfectly together.
Right.
I feel like that's like the middle, the spine of it, but the outskirts are kind of like when you have a positive and negative magnet, like they just can't touch. So you get the whiffs of the darker sides and the lighter sides on their own.
Right.
But then if you look at the whole other side of that whiff, they do click together perfectly. Like you almost don't want to pull them apart. I like how I can't figure out what's in here. They're all familiar, but they're not anything I feel like I can name, which might be frustrating for you. But I feel like they're a fun way to make your nose have to find new ways through a whiff. Like we kind of get used to, after having almost 800 soaps, having something in there that you can pull out and find that you recognize. Right. I kind of like that this one's really putting us off our kilter a little bit.
And very few scents are able to do that for me, but they're beloved. Like Obsession for Men. Are you really going to be able to pull a scent note out of that? Or Jean-Paul Gaultier's La Male that I wore for a decade? I mean, I guess it's vanilla mint, but I don't really smell either of those when I smell it. It's such its own thing, and that's what this is doing.
Right, and I love that it did get awards for this, because I feel like this is a brave scent to do with how it's being made. The concept obviously really helped kind of guide Ben's nose there in a fun way, but I almost like that he used things, at least to me, that seem more natural in Earth. Like, we all go back to the Earth at some point. Right. Like, I kind of like that the light and darkness is playing off of the actual life coming from the planet itself.
Right. And there are a few subtle notes in here, musks, woods, herbs, that are common to a lot of the House of Mammoth scents, but they're subtle. They're like a perfumer's base, and I love how everything else going on top of those is transforming those and making them a little bit different even from the very ground up from anything else in their line. But I can still somehow tell that olfactory fingerprint of House of Mammoth is here. Well, y'all, there is a detailed scent list for us to explore on the sales page. Why don't we take a look at that and build you a lather? All right, y'all, back to the sales page at houseofmammoths.com. We start with
aldehydes. Okay, so that on its own is already intriguing, but that's kind of the brighter, kind of bring you in part of the whiff, I think, right?
And then the second note is what's fascinating me. Weedy herbs.
So when you're thinking farm, I'm thinking gardening, like my hands are in the earth. Somehow, they're gorgeous, but they're just a different way to bring you in.
And it's like an arugula, a fabulous watery watercress kind of herb. But you know those little spiky herbs that kind of are in like a starfish pattern, and they got a little yellow flower in the middle, and you got to dig them out of your lawn, and they have a spiciness to them. That spiciness is in here, y'all, and it's fabulous. It's taken me back to those afternoons where I was digging out those reeds and cursing my father.
But I feel like I literally was rolling around outside. Like, there's something about the real side of the fact that they are just weedy herbs, but like in the most best perfumer lens.
And then watery florals.
So again, florals we kind of might know, but not really.
Or florals, you know, with a watery sort of addition to them.
Right, like you just put the hose all over them. I don't know.
And then that transitions, into Jasmine grandiflorum.
Okay, so I thought I was getting a floral I kind of knew, but it wasn't in the right lens, and I think that might be the only thing I sort of was kind of maybe defining here.
Grandiflorum. I felt like I stayed at that resort once.
Well, knowing that your grandpa was all into all of the floral kind of things, I feel like that's how he would use the real name for it.
And then here comes carrot seed. That's why it takes me back to that vegetable patch, but I cheated. I knew about that scent ahead of time.
But carrots on their own are kind of sweet. Like if you just like do a carrot juice, it's not as bitter and dark as you think it's going to be. It's kind of sweeter.
And that's how it's painting the orange of the sunrise for me, y'all. It's not with the florals. It's with the orange of the carrot. That's what's giving me that golden sunlight sense. And then here's a couple of interesting notes. I think these come from that olfactory base. Leather, smoke-tinged wood, and Haitian vetiver. I think those three kind of go together in this for me.
They almost like disguise each other, if that makes sense. Like the smokiness almost makes the leather where you can diagnose it's leather, takes it away. And then same thing, right? When you think you could find the smoky wood side, like the woods almost disappear into the vetivers. Like they don't actually become fully attainable on their own.
And like the beautiful sweet spiciness of the firewood that hasn't quite burned up from the night before. Yeah. When you smell it when everything's cooled down, that's that smoke tinginess that I get.
All right, we have patchouli absolute. So it's a much more like different version of patchouli.
That's why I'm sensing oak moss in this, I think. I think it's the patchouli absolute, the way that's binding with the vetiver and then coming back up with the carrot seed. That's what was giving me that sense of oak moss in the middle, but I definitely think it's oak moss adjacent. So if you are an oak moss fan, this would be a wonderful thing for you to explore. And then can we please get some pigs in here to find the truffle?
All right, so when you go to like a super, super fine dining restaurants and they have truffles on the list, like it's you know, like they have literally been handpicked or selected. Like there's something about the bouginess that's turned up. I would not know there's mushroom in here is all I'm saying.
No.
There's like a gorgeous kind of earthy herbiness that comes through. And I think somehow that's the magic weapon. I never could have pulled that out in multiple choice, I got to tell you. No. But if that's what's in here, it's working.
And they come from the ground. They come from loose, dark, earthy patches. That's why that and carrot seed are so inspired in here and why it keeps giving me the sense of walking through the cemetery. Violet leaf. Again, sometimes we'll be walking through the cemetery, there'll be a giant mound of flowers on a recently closed grave. Well, it's that kind of show today, y'all. And it does have that beautiful, sweet, subtly overripe, subtly starting to die floral sense in here, and I think that's helped by the fragile musk.
I love that fragile is in front of musk, because there is something delicate about life.
Right.
Clearly with the theme of things. But there is something that when you put fragile next to musk, it's not the ones you'd expect to go together, but sometimes musk is even more like skin. Like
Yes.
there's something about that is like the life side of musk.
For me, it reads like a lace pall or veil that's
Mm-hmm.
going over the casket.
I was watching on Instagram the other day. Ben was out gardening in his yard and he's like, this is just where I go to like cleanse my mind and I'm going to take you with me. And it was a very cool perspective to see literally hands with dirt on them, gardening and different things and different perspectives of like, wait, just stop and literally smell the roses. But he was like smelling the herbs and different things and things that looked similar. You could tell had different scents to them. So I think it's just a nice reminder for all of us that we live indoors all the time. It's very rare that you get outside and get away from technology and unplug. But things like that really help, I think, make life even better. I know we both get the image of outdoors and soils, but there's nothing in here. If you took a smell of this, I do not smell dirt.
No.
I don't smell soil, but the intention and the vibe that comes through, I get it.
But from the truffle to the florals to the
Yep.
carrot seed to the geranium to the weedy herbs to the tinged wood, all of this came out of the earth.
Yep.
All of it. Everything in this came out of earth. So I get it. We are dust, and to dust we shall return, but we are sentimental old Catholics. All right, y'all. I wanted a grown-up bowl for this. This is my Aquamarine Captain's Choice copper bowl. It's one of my absolute favorites, and a lather machine. These are our bougie sticks, or what's left of them from Amazon. This is half a one, but it's going to be fine. And this is my Grizzly Bay brush that Sarah bought me for my 50th birthday to celebrate my half a century in this world. All we told this amazing artisan was that we wanted barbershop colors, and look what the man did. Is that exceptional and a fabulous badger knot that is not gel tipped. And y'all, look at that. We're just going to build a thin layer of soap on the bottom of the bowl because the first goal is to transfer it up onto the bristles. And the bougie sprayer here from Sean and Julie is a good way to measure out how much water you're putting into your soap. I start with about 12 or 13 sprays for House Mammoth. And then I'm just going to use that ancillary water on top of the soap to start drawing it onto the bristles and leave most of the water hanging out down there at the bottom of the bowl. And about every 30 seconds or so, I'm going to turn the brush and give the bristles a new orientation with which to attack that soap. And then if it stops transferring itself up onto the brush, that means it needs a little bit of water to continue that process. So just take the tips of the bristles, dip them down into the water, and keep coming back to that soap. Remember, we don't want to build a lather yet.
That lather looks pretty impressive.
I'm saying, y'all. And Ben Esposito is one of the most fascinating artisans out there. Check out our interview in Conversation series with him here on YouTube. It's one of the finest lathers I've ever
I was
built.
just gonna
I
say
might
that.
have to march in and shave something.
I think so. We can't
with
waste
this.
it.
Y'all, look at this fabulous House of Mammoth lather. And this is an animal brush. It seems to be stealing nothing.
It's full of soap. Like, it's just between every single bristle.
This is beautiful. Y'all.
Oh, my.
This is crazy, and this is something you will only find here in the Barbershop Duet. This is the You or I Will Die Whip on 3, 1, 2. Oh, that's a little different. A little more of the florals came
You
out. A
think?
slightly fruity note in there. Hold on. Yeah, that's different.
Ah.
That's different. Do you get the florals in a different way in the lather?
So earlier where I was talking about like the polarizing sides of the scents, I get that more in the actual puck. This I get more of the zipper of where they're all connecting, like the backbone of the scent maybe.
Yes, and I get a lot less of the actual oak moss scents and a lot more of how that scent was being built in here with different things. It's not very oak mossy anymore for me in here. Yeah, we love watching Damon on our Rabbit Shaves channel, but we don't do shaving here in the Barbershop Duet, so we thought you might like to see.
Oh, look at that.
I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to
my
this.
goodness.
How this lather coats and covers. Look how thick this is, y'all.
It has been a while since I've had a House of Mammoth shave.
Right?
I might have to be using this one tonight.
It's beautifully thick and creamy. This is actually the consistency of actual yogurt.
But super slick. Like, I feel like wherever your razor goes, you're going to get right to the hair immediately.
And before I make more of a mess, we better take this a little bit deeper, maybe 6 feet under, and see what we can find. I do have one kind of funny story about the juxtaposition of life and death that I don't think I've ever actually told you.
Oh.
We got a call at the funeral home that somebody had passed away, and my friend Chuck and I put our coats on and went and made the removal, as it's called. But on the way, because we were skipping lunch in order to get there in time, we had run through the drive-thru at Burger King. And I know. And we ate our little hamburgers and cheeseburgers in the van on the way to pick up that person. This is why I don't do this anymore. Anyway, when we got there, we made the removal and we met the family. They were very nice. And we got back in the van and we were on our way home. And my friend Chuck noticed that in the bag, they had included 2 crowns. You know, the paper Burger King crowns, because we had bought Happy Meals, the Burger King version, because we just wanted a little snack, a little light lunch. And he put his on. And he was like, look, it kind of fits the same way it used to when I was little. Here, try yours on. And I put my Burger King crown on, and we kind of started to laugh and say, you know, we will treat your family like royalty here at our funeral home with our crowns on. And then I glanced up at the rearview mirror, and I noticed that person's family was following us.
Oh, no.
And could see us in our Burger King crowns. I died. Speaking of you and I will die. It's just one of those moments that we're human.
Right.
And we just weren't really thinking.
It's
and we
normally
put on
in
our,
your world,
our Burger
yeah.
King crowns. And I looked at Chuck and I said, oh my God, they're right behind us. What do we do? Chuck's first knee-jerk response was, lose them! So I lost them. I just pedaled to them. No, I didn't. We just took it off and said rosaries all the way home that nobody had seen. We did not get in
Hopefully.
trouble. I don't think they actually were able to see through the back windows.
Let's hope.
That scared the crap out of me.
I'm sure for you, you know, this was your normal life for so many
Right.
years, you forget, you like lose perspective.
Right.
Until that moment, it really hit home.
So it's pretty simple, y'all. Just be Marcus when he's 18 in a van with his father, learning how to pick up people who have passed away for the family business. And everything's going to go really well, and he's going to tell you that he's proud of you. And then he's going to get in the carpool lane on the way home. And just about the time you say, but Dad, there's not 3 people in this car. Oh, you're going to get your own. So head over to their website at houseofmammoth.com, where you'll find this and a wide range of other products. Well, I've had my shave, y'all, with You and I Will Die. And you know what? I love this. It evokes memories of my grandfather, the farmer, because he would wear those oak moss adjacent aftershaves, but spend all day out in his vegetable patch, put that all together. And it reminds me of those beautiful Stockton summer afternoons. And the base is fabulous. Maybe not as much cushion as some of the others, but an increased amount of glide. So if you really do like to enjoy the blade feel of some of your more aggressive razors and feel absolutely safe doing it, this is your pony. Thank you, House of Mammoth. We'll be back soon. Hey, welcome to Messages.
So for our July giveaway, we wanted to give you a chance to get a $25 gift card to Katie's Bubbles.
That's right, y'all, and all you have to do to be eligible for this giveaway is send us an email. Here to We Sent You at the barbershopduet.com so we can get back to you. It's the only way we communicate about our giveaways, and then check back here on our first August episode to see if you are our lucky winner.
Best of luck! I'm sure when we started this show, years back, we never thought we would smell something like this.
Right.
But I love the journey, even just with our show and getting our noses used to different things. Like getting to smell this now, I feel like we have a much different perspective and we can almost take this in a much better way. Like we're just appreciate what scent can do for us.
And while this would completely be appreciated by the newbie, it is the seasoned nose that will be able to dive deep into this and be shocked and delighted at what they found in some of those mid and bass notes. This really is a spectacular creation and still keeps bringing her back to something that her grandmother wore or had.
Gardened? I don't know. Something.
Right? But y'all, it matters not how these memories come flooding back. It matters that they do. And we're grateful that these soaps and these scents are one of the best paths back to our forgotten memories and the nooks and crannies of our journey that we get to have come rushing back when we do smell these strange and curious and beautiful creations. We are so grateful for the Aventuses, but we are even more grateful for these original scents and where they take us.
Thank you for being brave, Ben, and coming up with even this concept of like, you know, just pausing and trying to find your way to be okay with where life takes you. I feel like as we all get older, it starts to hit you more off guard. Like you're just not ready for this concept or topic to come up at all. So it comes like almost forced into your life sometimes, but I feel like we all just need to step back and take a breather. And it's just a nice reminder to have a whiff and a shave to do that with.
Like Elaine used to say, we're all going together. Ba-boom, ba-boom. Nothing to be scared of.
Don't forget your next appointment with the Barbershop Duet.
You'll smell better just watching this.